Have you ever wanted to paint a portrait but don't even know where to start? Well, I'll show you. As you can see, I've already outlined the painting. The next phase is blocking in. Blocking in is the underpainting that's going to go on first. I will do that, and then subsequent layers will be put on top to add detail and more form to it. Now, blocking in is a very crude and simple first step. All I'm doing is establishing lights, midtones, and darks in a very crude manner. So it's not super detailed, it's just to get the ball rolling. So here we go. Now, in realism, establishing your light source is very important. In this painting, the light source will come from this angle and move this way onto his face. So this side of his face will be light, this side of his face will be dark. And the first thing I want to establish is where that breaking point is, where the light side meets the dark side. And that is the first thing that I'll paint and establish. And also the first thing that I'll paint and establish are the darkest points, because once I put down a concentrated amount of paint, that's as dark as it can get. So I don't want to start painting my midtones in first and then all of a sudden need to paint in my darker shadows, and I can't go any darker. So the first thing I'll paint in also will be, like, let's say under the nostrils and things like that where light is not hitting. So I establish the absolute darks. And there you have it. That's the block in. It's finished. So as you can see, it's a very simple painting. All I've done is establish the lights and the darks to start getting some form. So this is what I will do with the entirety of the painting in this manner. And from there, we'll go on to putting multiple layers to build it to the final piece. Now here we are with the finished block in of the head, and I wanted to point out something very important, is learning to paint in shapes. It was probably the most important piece of advice ever given to me by an artist named Brian Fox in my early days of painting. Actually, I'll leave a link. You should look him up. He's an amazing painter. But sometimes we try to paint everything as a whole. It needs to be broken down, otherwise things just mesh all together. And the eye sees light, shadow, and dark in planes. So you want to break things up. So as you can see, when I was painting this, I'm paying more attention to this shape here, or this shape here, or this shape here, instead of the whole, trying to paint the whole eye. I see, okay, the light hits in this rectangle shape, so I'm gonna make sure that that is present. And this, this triangle shape, and this has another kind of triangle shape, and then you see some various geometric shapes. If you paint like that, you're gonna truly capture light much better, because that is how light falls on objects. So paint in shapes, and those shapes will form the whole. Painting in shapes is crucial in this early stage because it is literally a building block. It's called blocking in, which is really makes sense because you're painting blocks of light and shadow, and that's so important. And it's even important in the later stages. As you'll see, you always continue to see in shapes. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to tune in for progress, and until then, be well.